Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to cover TimeCamp, a time tracking tool that's really useful for virtual assistants, especially if you are charging by the hour or if you are charging in packages, but you want to track, how many hours the work is actually taking you versus like what you charge the client in that package for that work and what you quoted them. Okay, so here we go. We've got TimeCamp up on the screen here. So this is a really simple platform to use. The main things you have to know about this is the different views that you can have to track your time. So there's several tabs over here, starting with timesheet, which is really where you will go to track your time once you've made an account. So you can look at this. If you come here to the top right, you can look at this in a day view, which means if you like to just keep track of that one day, you'll just, gives you more insight so you can put the exact times in that you worked, your notes or whatever, you want to put in there for notes, and then the task that you worked on. And then you can just add that entry and it will start listing it downwards. The other thing you can do here is actually just enter the amount of hours and minutes that you worked. And then, it's gonna just pull a random time, but if you're not sending these timesheets to your clients, it doesn't matter. Other thing you can do is log this by week. So if we go to next week here, you can, essentially see each project and then however much you worked for that project that week each day. So it's just going to give you a weekly overview by project of what hours you work. And then to log this, you would just click into it. You actually need to select a project first and then click into it and add your time worked. And this is in 15-minute increments, just for your knowledge. And then the other thing you can do is look at this in a calendar view, which personally, this is my favorite view to look at in TimeCamp, just because I really like to, I just really like the Google type view where you see the whole week. And so this is really cool because you can just click on it and drag. Like, let's say I did like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 or an hour for a specific client. And then I can just select whatever client it is. And then I can just click on it and add my notes, A, B, C, right? So this is my favorite because then I can see, here's the total hours worked total for the week. But I can see like, okay, I spent between 9 and 5, I spent this many hours actually working and this many hours not actually doing anything for clients. So it's like not build time, right? So the idea is to maximize the amount of build time that you have each week. And that's why I really like this system. I guess this view the best out of all the views that are out there. So that's kind of how you actually will enter your time. TimeCamp is really cool because you can actually have multiple members on your team. If you are having virtual assistants work beneath you, this is a really great system because you can just invite them as users to your team. So you can see here, there's, VAs on my team, and then there's myself. So I have 6 VAs. Invited them. They each see the exact same thing, but they go into my system and they log their time. And then I, on my end, can go into the time reports, in the report section, time, and then summaries. And then from there, I'm able to pull reports based on last year, this year, all of that good stuff. So you can see, you can even pull it by, who's doing it. So let's just say it's me doing the work. So I can see all the clients that I've worked with over the period of time. And then if I want to get time reports, what you would do is click into the actual time and you'll just go to time entries. So if you want detailed reports, this is where you'll go. So you can see here on this specific task, there was actually no work done last week. So let me find one where there was work done. So same task, you can see that work was done under this one this week. And so if there's more than just one entry, it would just create a long list of all the entries. And then you're able to click on this really handy export button and it's going to just download it in the form of a Excel sheet for you, which is really neat because then you can just send that to your client if they need to review how you spent your time, what you worked on, all of that good stuff. Just depending on how you have your business set up. Some people like that option. So it's just a nice feature. to have. And then the other thing that's really useful for yourself is you're able to track, like how well are you spending your time? How much time are you billing? Do you want to increase your build time? All of that good stuff. So even if you're charging in the form of packages, I think it's really useful to use a time tracking tool to keep track of, let's say you quoted 5 hours for a specific project. Are you actually using those 5 hours to do this project, or is it taking you 10 or 20 hours to do the project? Because at that point, you're cutting your hourly rate in half of what you're actually making. So you really do want to keep track of how many hours is a specific task or work taking you versus how much are you charging for that project. That's going to help you increase your income, make more money, and charge the right pricing in your business. So back to TimeCamp here, you can do a lot more with this system. There's finance, so you can do billable and non-billable. So everything that I personally use is billable, but if you also have non-billable time that you want to log or keep track of somehow, there is option to separate those two. You can use this system for further things like estimates, revenue tracking. So with each client or project, you can actually put in like a price rate, like however much you're charging them if you wanted to, and then you could track your revenue costs and all that good stuff. The biggest other thing that I really want to show you guys in this system is the project, which is really where each client has a place, right? So each client is a project, is the way I have it set up, but you could do this many different ways. So you can have a specific thing for a client be a project. So if you're working on a website development for a client, and then you're also working on a social media strategy or something for a client, you can put both of those as separate projects if you want to track time separate on those two. So you would just, you could set it up however you like. You could be, let's say it's Anita, you could say Anita-social media, Anita-web design, right? So anyways, you can go in here, have all your projects. And for me, this is clients. So it's really easy for me to separate each client is a project. So when I'm pulling time, it's easy to separate. Okay, I spent this amount of time on this client, this amount of time on this client. And then the really neat thing about project is you can assign users to it. So if you want more than just yourself working on a specific client's project, you just go in here, assign people, and then you can give your other users access to log time under this project. So if you have multiple team members, they're not automatically going to have access to log on every single project. You have to manually assign them that access. And that is a really good safeguard for you too, just to make sure that, there's not time locked where there shouldn't be time locked. So you can keep really clean lines. And if you are growing something like an agency, it's really neat just because you don't want all of your VAs to know all of the clients that you have, right? You want them to only see the assigned to. So this is a really good feature for that situation. And then obviously you can rename them, you can color code them, whatever makes you happy. And that is pretty much it. There is also an attendance feature if you are, and this I think does not apply to most assistants, but if you are wanting to track how much attendance or how much work someone did, this is where you would go to really keep track of, how present were they, how not present were they, essentially, right? And that is pretty much everything in TimeCamp. Just showing you guys the rest of the menu over here. It is a really easy system to navigate, to use. Actually, on that note, I do want to show you guys the settings part of TimeCamp so you guys can see subscriptions. So it's really easy. If you go in here, you can see subscriptions. And then these are kind of the pricing options going on. It's really affordable if you ask me. And then you can just increase and decrease your user count based on how many people are using your system, and then update it from there, right? So it's super easy. They will give you invoices, which is really nice. It's clean, right? You want to run your business really clean and organized as far as your finances goes. There's also a profile settings over here where you can go in, and you can do this for every single one of your users actually, but you can add their name, additional emails, and then there's a bunch of features in here that you can edit. So if you want certain users to have access to some things but not others, this is where you'll go, and there's actually 3 tabs worth of settings that you can go through in the settings. So it's really intuitive. You can kind of customize the system to what you need it to be and turn on features. So this is obviously like my own, but you can turn on things that you want certain users to have and others not to have. So overall, it's a really great system. There's a lot that you can do with it. There's a lot of growth that you can produce out of this system. And it's just easy to download reports, get your reports, pull your reports, which is really what a lot of people use any type of time tracking tool for. Yeah, so that's kind of TimeCamp. That's really it. It's very simple. It's not hard to use. I highly recommend this system. I might be biased because I currently use it, but it is one of the better ones that I've used. And I will say I have used almost every type of time tracking system out there. Go check this one out, play around with it, get to know it. In the meantime, like and follow, and we'll produce more videos on everything that you need to know in the virtual assistant world, the different programs that you need to know.